Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where we are currently still underage, but not for very much longer. We are going to be no longer underage shortly. In fact, there we go. Beautiful. Fantastic. We became Midas touched. That is really, really good. So we have 16 stewardship, which is not the best I've ever seen. We're pretty much immediately going to break this betrothal. This guy's going to be upset. But we did that for political reasons, and we're going to need to marry somebody with good stewardship here. We want as many domain holdings as we can possibly get. So, honestly, the age of the guy doesn't really matter. This guy being handsome and intelligent is not a bad thing. We can go ahead and do that. Do we need additional concubines? Not really, to be honest. So, that'll be fine. Cool. So, we need to have that guy, let's hop into our council here. We need to have him be a managed domain, which means that we can pull back 4 holdings here. This castle will definitely be 1. Number 2, 3, and 4 will all be temples up here. So, 2, 3, and 4. Fantastic. We can choose our lifestyle. Actually, we're very close to capping out our technology at this point. I think we're best off going for a wealth focus here. Because if we look at our technology here, and we're going to take over the... we're going to take over as culture head here soon. There we go. So, we can control whether we do Renaissance thought or not. That's being exposed, actually. I didn't realize we had an exposure as well there. So, I think for the moment we should go for, like, Noblesse Oblige. That'll be done in 14 years and 10 years, respectively. So, I don't think we need to worry about tech at this point. Now, I do believe that there was a tech back here that we didn't have, hobbies. We're not going to use them. But we may want to research that once we get everything else done here. That'll be fine, and we need to come in over this way and continue to upgrade. So, I want to take a look here. I believe every holding that we don't personally hold is maxed out at this juncture. Okay, this is not quite going to be maxed out. We need cash. That's for sure. Prisoners can be ransomed, and we're not going to do that right now. We are going to go back to war soon. That's for sure. Conscription centers finish up in Buckingham. And I just want to check. Okay, we can make Bedford be maxed out. So that sounds good to me. Maxed, maxed, maxed. London is not quite maxed. St. Albans is. Berkhamsted is. Gore is. Okay. This one's not. There's only a couple here that aren't maxed out. Okay, sounds good. We do need a marshal, and that will be this guy. He's not that good, but he's the best we've got, shockingly. Okay. So at this point, I think it might end up being time... Ooh, we're vengeful? We can't care less. Okay. I think it might end up being time here very, very soon to declare war. And that would be down here in India. We'd end up declaring on this guy. He's a little bit weak, actually. This is the only county we need here. Let's do it. Let's get that done. We're going to raise our men-at-arms here. And we're going to raise some levies as well. He calls in a holy order immediately. That's not shocking. 21,000. I expected him to have more than that. Okay, the ally now joins the war. 43,000. That's more like it. That's more like what I thought he'd have. Now he's running straight at us here. But I don't think he has enough to actually deal with this. Where is he? He should have been here by now. Embarking. He was embarking to go here. What? Why would you embark from here to go here instead of just going like this? I don't understand. But okay, if he wants to give us time to raise our men-at-arms, we'll take it. Challenge to a board game. We accept. What is our best skill here? Stewardship? Learning, probably. We'll go for learning here. We're probably going to lose. Hey, we won! Fantastic. Good game. Okay, so they're sieging up here. We're going to finish up our siege here very, very quickly now. Ticking is now on our side. So we're going to walk around here, and I'm going to, once we arrive here, split off our forces. He has detected the danger. So the plan was that we would send our soldiers down here and a siege force to his capital. As it is, that's no longer necessary. We can just fight him right here. That will stack wipe. Now we can split off our siege force. Go hit his capital and get a siege commander in here, while these guys chase down this army. Beautiful. We outnumber them 2-1 to start with, and the question is, will they stack wipe? That's a negative, but it's okay. War is over. So we will enforce our demands there and disband our troops, and of course we'll have to hand this territory out. We'll revoke this from this holy order. It does not need to be a holy order. And then we'll grant that on over. Fantastic. So next up we would go after these guys. Now they're a little awkward for us. We could do a kingdom invasion. Ensure that we get these two locations, and this one as well would be legal for us to hold. So as long as we get this county, this county, this county, all of this, and this county, we'd be happy. We may have to grant out some territory over here. In fact, potentially quite a lot of it. That depends on what ends up happening with the kingdom title. Some of it would end up not needing to be handed out, but a significant amount of it would need to be handed out. That said, we'd be able to get this taken care of with a single war. And of course, we need to go after this territory. 50,000 troops. I'm just thinking about the logistics of how we're going to get around here and the path that we're going to take. We might start attacking here, grab that, then come up here, siege this location, and then down this way into the war goal. That might be the way we end up going. He doesn't have much piety for a holy order. I think it's good. He is going to call in this ally. So he'll have close to 50k troops. We'll raise our men-at-arms and our levy troops. And I think that's our overall plan here. It's going to be a little bit awkward, but it's okay. My interests are Odin's interests. This is true. He refused. What a jerk. So we're going to raise around, what, 60k? 65? It's quite a lot. That's for sure. I'm going to raise 70k here. I'm going to split off 5,000 right now. These guys are going to go over here with a siege commander. I'm kind of regretting raising the way that I did, but there was a more efficient way to do it. But this is enough for the men-at-arms, or rather for the levy troops. We need our men-at-arms here. And there they are. We're now going to split off our bombards. And these guys will head up to here. These will group together. And then we're going to come in and land here in 3 months. Sounds good. These guys will follow along shortly after. So that should, in theory, be reasonably okay. This siege will happen very quickly. Okay, whatever. That's reasonably fine. There we go. We finished that up. And now we're going to head up over here. We'll arrive there in 3 months ourselves. And we're just keeping an eye out here for their forces. Hello. What are they doing here? Isn't this fascinating? We're just chilling here watching them. Oh, is that what they want to do? I'm going to let them walk into that. And we'll come in here ourselves. This is currently saying that the chances are even. Our army commander here is kind of bad. That's a good call, actually. Winter Soldier is probably not going to be useful here, but Organizer, maybe? That said, this Holy Warrior is almost certainly better. They consider us to be what? Evil and hostile. Sounds good. Okay. So we're going to come in here. I'm going to let these guys lock in. And now we're going to attack up here in a moment. Okay. Actually, we got to head up over here. We have no choice. I didn't realize these guys were arriving quite that quickly. That's my own fault. 100%. We may lose our siege force here. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. My own fault. 100%. So we're going to raise some more men-at-arms and some more levy troops here. They'll get there eventually. Okay. We're going to catch these guys here. Looks good to me. That's a significant portion of their army that we catch. Fascinating. We need to let these guys lock in. Yes, we'll take that gold. Okay, they lock in there. Sadly, we don't catch them here. But what we do is catch these guys. We're going to lock in, and they're going to immediately start heading over. But this is a really bad situation for them. So we're going to grab ourselves a steward. We'll stop gathering these guys in a bit, I think. Okay, this is more than enough. Okay. And our men-at-arms that I wanted didn't actually raise there. Sad. But we're going to catch these guys here. That's going to be huge. So I'm going to take these 24k. They're going to go up over here with a siege commander. There we go. Well, these guys come down over to here. Cool. So obviously ticking war score is against us right now, right? That's to be expected. Unfortunately, losing our siege force there is obnoxious, but I misplayed that. That was 100% my own fault. I should have not had them land there. 8 years? That's a long siege. Well, hello there. Okay, we're just going to go back and resupply. That's all we can do. We could resupply up over this direction. We do have a dangerous faction here. I'm not hugely surprised about that because we are fighting a reasonably powerful war. This is a Liberty faction. We can probably just bribe this guy, at least for now. That's not great. We could bribe this guy. He'll leave that. Okay. We do need that siege force. However, I do want to come up here and get our castles upgrading. So this one is now maxed out. Want to check through all of these. We're constructing here still. Basically everything in this duchy is maxed out. Not quite everything, but nearly everything. We're now maxed out here. So I think it's literally just London at this point that isn't maxed out. Cool. And then, of course, over here we've got our capital, which has a ways to go. So there we go. Now, back over here in India. We're heading over to resupply. And when will these men-at-arms show up? 5 months, allegedly. We're going to stop here. We're going to split in half. We're going to send some forces over here, but we're going to split that as well. And then these guys will come down to here. Split this in half. These guys will come down over here. They'll need to be split in half as well, it looks like. Just because of supply limits over here. But overall, that looks good. Cool. I'm going to bring this knight up over this way. We could donate to charity. That's probably okay. Cool. Okay, so all we need now is our siege weapons. My major question is, what is he doing? Just chilling out over here. Okay. This is what, the Liberty faction? Yeah, that's to be expected, to be honest. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten pregnant yet. We may actually want to get some concubines to try to fix that. Probably not our rival, but the rest of that seems okay. Okay, there's our bombards, at long last. So this is all looking good. These guys need to be split up again. But otherwise, we are resupplying. Cool. At this point, we're going to head down over to here. This is slightly dangerous, so we're going to move all of our armies over. I'm not sure what siege we just lost. But it doesn't really matter. Okay, there's also an independence faction all of a sudden. Interesting. Can we just negotiate with anyone here? I did see an offer to join war there. We'll offer to join her war. And we'll deal with that peasant uprising for her, most likely, and in hopes that that will get some opinion there. But we need to go through these and look to see if we can negotiate with any of these. We have no children right now, but we can negotiate with this man. Anybody else here? Yes. There's one. Okay, so that will help a little bit. Cool. Now, as far as this Liberty faction goes, we can likely deal with this. You're 12.5%. Our threshold is 60. So if we hand her out to somebody, it doesn't really matter what kingdom. If we grant her, not you, if we grant her over, then that should drop this faction down to below the threshold. Then we've got this faction here. Now, all of the important ones here are kings and queens. I'm going to send a gift to her to bribe her in hopes that she leaves the faction. Same to this guy, this queen, this king, and this queen. Let's see if they'll leave the faction. A number of them did. Cool. Now if we can just get rid of her. Which seems easy enough. Your problem now, buddy. Okay. No problems there. Fantastic. Now where is this guy? Honestly, she doesn't need our help. So that's okay. We're just going to siege this on down. And in we go. Cool. We're now going to get ticking war score on our side here. Actually, we need to come down to here if we don't want to take attrition. So we're going to get ticking war score onto our side. This is going to be worth like 40%. And then we're going to hit their capital. This is going to be a huge swing in the war. Peasant uprising is over, as expected. That didn't control the whole location there. Oh, this is a castle over here. Right, it's a tiny little castle model. Gotcha. Okay, there we go. So we're now at 65% war score. Now we're going to head over to their capital. And this should do the trick. I'm thinking that taking their capital will win the war for us. If we get a decent hostage here, and winning this battle will be nice too. Yeah, that was worth a big chunk. So what is this faction? Independence? 12 months? Okay, the Liberty faction is just too weak to send an ultimatum. We may be okay with that Liberty faction firing. We'll see. We're 84% right now. Unfortunately, our child died. But this should end the war. Beautiful. War is over. So, I want to make sure that we have everything that we want. Yes. I'm thinking we're going to have to grant quite a lot of independence here. But let's see what happens. We disband our troops. Yes, we're going to have to grant quite a lot of independence. So, this count, independent. This county, we need to grant that off. We are required to grant independence here. This county is technically okay for us to hold, so we're just going to grant that off to a noble of Norse culture. But all three of these need to be granted independence. We knew there would be quite a number of these that would be granted independence. Okay. We are not allowed to hold any of these. Now, it's possible that we may end up vassalizing some of them later on. That's fine, if we do. This here is held by this duke. So that is actually not required to grant independence. Let's see here. We need to grant these all out. Cool. So that seems reasonably fine, right? We got basically everything we needed. The other stuff over here we did have to grant independence to, but that's to be expected. And we'll grant that out as well. Yeah, we granted out a bunch of titles. That's fine. And honestly, I think letting that independence faction fire is probably for the best. So let's take a look at who's currently leading it. This queen again? Sure. She's been a bit of a thorn in our side, no doubt about that, but we will go ahead and drop our... Well, do we want to raise here yet? It will take 5 months to raise our full army. We're going to give it a bit. Cool. So, what do we need to conquer over here? We need to attack this guy for just a singular county. That should not be a big problem. And then we need to attack Indrid here. And this is honestly most of what he has. We're not going to run an attack while we're going to be having a faction here. So we'll definitely let this faction fire. It's going to fire in 4 months. Are there any other factions happening here? Not currently, although this Liberty faction is likely to fire once the other faction does fire. So that's something we need to consider. We'll likely end up having 2 factions eventually. Demand artifact, we decline. But we're going to go ahead and raise up our forces here momentarily. Once we get down to 1 month remaining is when we'll do that. Sure, it'll be my pleasure. It's currently saying 18 months to raise. I don't think that's accurate. It shouldn't be. Yeah, 38 days. That's more like what I thought. Cool. Okay, so they're going to fire in 1 month here, but it is about time to put a cut in here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let them fire, and we know that we're going to need quite a lot of soldiers here. Well, at least 50,000. So we're going to raise 70,000. That'll be fine. Our men-at-arms are now here as well. This can fire at any time. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm hoping that they fire before the cut, but we'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes. There we go. Fantastic. Will not be threatened. And bell ringings. And next episode, we are going to deal with this uprising. You can leave your... I already said that. I already said you can leave your offerings. Fantastic. A very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, JJ Gamer, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, Jensgram, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.